Hello, hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Hopefully everybody can hear us.
Jump in and say hello if you can hear us. Good morning from Greg. Len says he can hear. Good morning, Len. Good morning, Dennis.
Len's our star student, right?
Wow, I just touched my mouse and I got this shock and it made my external monitor flash.
Holy shit.
That's weird. Yeah, you got a blank screen, but you should be able to hear the sound.
Len's our star student, right?
Yes, he is our star student. He is the superstar of superstars.
Len, thanks for making that video. I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thanks, dude. That was awesome. I forgot to say thank you for that, but I had trouble downloading it and then I went off Skype. But yeah, thank you for that. That video was fantastic. Len made a testimonial video for us, so thank you, sir. We certainly appreciate it.
Mighty fine of you, buddy. Mighty fine of you.
Okay, so a couple things. I guess I'll just get started because I don't know. Is Kim on here today? She said she was going to try and join us, but anyway, she's asked me in advance a question, and I am going to answer it for her because I'm such a nice guy.
Yeah, we love Kim. Kim's a great.
So Kim wanted to know, how do I? Let me just pull up this spreadsheet so we can do this. She wants to know how she can search for specific things within, and only, like, let's say she wants to start a blog about dogs or something like that, right? So what happens is, I'm going to open up, it's going to take a little while because I got to open up the entire spreadsheet, but there's sort of two ways to do this. The first way is, if you guys can see my screen right now, first way is you can just do the search. Once you have all the JPEGs, the quote JPEGs downloaded to your hard drive, they'll be indexed on your hard drive after they, it usually takes about, if you downloaded them last night, they should be indexed by now. And then you can just do a search like on, this is a Mac, but you can do the same thing in Windows using the File Explorer. And you can just type, let's say I want to do a blog about dogs, right? So I just type in dog, and boom, it'll give me 269 quotes here about dogs, right? And then I can also do the same thing here in spreadsheet. So I can search for, do a find, where is it here? Sorry, my spreadsheet's always a little slow. Now I gotta wait for it. Hit the spinning beach ball of death, which means could crash, could not, who knows. Okay, so we can do filters. We can say filter, I'm gonna add a filter to column D, which is the post, or sorry, column, let's make it column F. This column F has the entire post in it. And then I can say text contains, and then I can just put in here dog. And then what will happen is, let's see if I think I gotta check this box. Now this process is probably going to be a little bit different in Excel, but look for the sort and filter option in Excel, or I think you can just perform a find and it will just find those lines. But essentially you can do the same thing here that we did before, where we copied out the dates and randomized, and all the same procedures fall into place here. But then you can also apply your filter, and then boom, you're only going to get the quotes that have the word dog in it. So then this is now your magic spreadsheet for just your dog blog, right? So you export this out, and boom, you've got a dog blog. And again, the thing you want to do is, actually, I think it's already doing it for us. Look at that, it's already doing it for us. Oh no, it's not. Okay. So we would have to, before we applied the filter, we would want, I'm just going to uncheck the filter here so you can see how this works. Sorry, my MacBook is kind of slow with this giant spreadsheet. I'm sure you guys have probably experienced similar things. So we're waiting for it to show the rest of them again. So basically the same procedure would fall into play. You would do your randomization here. You would resort the random columns, and you would copy out the dates, and then you could paste the date column back in. And what's going to happen is it's going to paste in all the dates in the same order, and then you can just copy out the dog stuff to a new spreadsheet. And then you also want to make sure that when you do create the new spreadsheet, so I'm just waiting for this to bring back the original found set. It's taken a while. So when you copy it out to a new spreadsheet, you copy that top line, top row that says, post title, post, all that stuff, and then you're good to go.
May I ask you a question?
No.
I feel like this is a really smart strategy for flipping sites because you're niching them out. Now, let's say you wanted to do a dog site, for example, right? We all know dogs are hot, and you could have affiliate products for dog stuff. And I mean, there's tons of stuff you could sell for dogs, right? Like bumper stickers and all kinds of crazy stuff, right? So let's say, you have a section of the blog that's pumping out the quotes, right? But it's not putting out enough content. Let's say you run out of content as an example. Let's say it's not enough quotes, out of the 60, like we have with the 61,000 images, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know that you've done this before. What would be and I know that these kinds of blogs sell well. What would be a smart or a strategic or a simple way to go curate dog content to add to the blog, so it's not just a dog quote blog, but it's also like a tips and tricks to training or whatever, Is there a way to do that?
I would go looking for PLR dog content. I would probably, I might even hire someone in the Philippines, like a writer in the Philippines, for maybe $100 a week full time to go out and find dog content and rewrite it in their own words, so that you have more content. And then, other good ideas for curation are just like go to YouTube and find a video about dogs and then have someone write about it. So I think, there's several ways you can go about this where you can get new content on top of the quotes.
Yeah.
And you can just embed a YouTube video and write a little summary of it above. And that's a pretty good strategy for content curation. And the YouTube owner's not going to care because you're embedding their video, so they'll be happy. And you see that all the time where people are like, they'll write an article and it'll have 3 YouTube videos in it, and it'll be 3 YouTube video summaries. It's pretty easy to pull off. There's tons of videos out there for dogs. So
I've done this in the past too. I've tested blogs that I've created with YouTube videos embedded in them, and then I would shoot a bunch of backlinks to the specific blog posts. And I would link back to the video too with the video embedded and no other written content. Just to test, I would just have the title, and then I would have the description, the meta title, the meta description of the video. I would embed the video. I'd link back to the video, and I'd shoot some backlinks to that blog post, and the thing would rank like crazy because they liked, my assumption is that they liked having a YouTube embedded on a blog post.
Yeah. And the other thing I would do is, look at sites like mine, like Vector Tunes. We have literally thousands of cartoon dogs in different breeds. And, if you wanted to make, you could literally just take, one of these images of a bulldog and some saying about bulldog owners and stick it next to it and make memes, make shareable content memes using cartoons of dogs. And, I made one here. Let me see if I can find it here for you. And this is just purely on this tangent, right? Let me just find it here. Where it is. I had this image made, and you can get cartoons drawn for very little money. So you could even get custom stuff done where it's like, So I had this one made because everybody who has a Jack Russell Terrier knows that they're crazy, crazy dogs, right? Mm-hmm. So I had this dog, this Jack Russell Terrier drawn with a Jack Russell Terrier drawn with a suicide bomber vest on. So and I call him the Jack Russell Terrorist, right? So like you can come up with some weird ideas and like or like another one that I did a lot of was like these like I did this up for the kids. They love these, so I just had these cartoons done for them. But like, let's see here, half human, half dog, and then I did half dog, half bunny. This one here, so you can have like you can get cartoons done on Fiverr, or we do them custom as well at Vector Tunes, but you don't have to buy them from us. I'm just kind of giving you ideas, but you can buy as for instance here, you can buy 9 dog images for $24. And then with these 9 dog images, there's no reason why you couldn't create, 50 to 100 different derivative memes from those 9 images, right? So you can really maximize your usage of the images if you play it right. But we have thousands and thousands of dog images. So if that's something that you're looking to do, they're really easy to put together. There's lots of software out there that'll do this for free, that'll make memes for you. And, there's definitely, I mean, if you start to think about all the different angles, right? There's an unlimited amount of derivative content that you can make.
And this is why I brought to bring this up, because I think you could inject serious value into a blog if you niche it out like that, right?
Yes. Yeah, you could. So Richard's asking, if I wanted to start the post, say, in a week or any day in the future, what change do I have to make in the spreadsheet if I wanted to set it up today? So Richard, the easiest thing to do is if you're using the new plugin that we recommend, which is WP All Import, and I can send you a copy of it if you don't already have one, it actually can override the date settings in the spreadsheet, making the date part of the spreadsheet irrelevant. So when you do the update, when you do the upload or the import, it'll ask you for the dates, and you can actually say, I want to start it on this date, and I want to finish it on this date, and I want you to randomize all the dates and times in between, and it'll do it all for you. That's probably the easiest way. If you do want to do it on the spreadsheet, a really simple hack is to change the date and time in your computer to the time you want to start. So go into your control panel on your computer, change the date and time, override it to like a week from now, and then open the spreadsheet, and it'll think it's a week from now, so it'll calculate all the dates a week from now, and then spit out the CSV, and then go back into your control panel and change your time. That's there's another way to do it in the spreadsheet, but that's like even harder. So I'd rather just give you the life hack workaround, which is change the time in your computer. Let me know if that answer made sense. Gents, what do you think about adding memes and GIFs to our sites?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, why not? I mean, they're satire, they're popular culture, they're pretty much public domain. I mean, from a legal perspective, I don't know. Every meme is going to be different, but I think it's a good idea. I think any content that you add to your site over and above the quotes is going to make it unique. It's going to make it yours. And it's going to add, I mean, every piece of content you post is more traffic. So
yeah, that's what I was going to say. Content equals traffic.
Well, Brian says he has a dog fan page. Awesome.
Yeah. So real quick, if people buy Vector Tunes, these Vector Tunes packs from you, and they resell the sites, that's okay, right? You don't have any issues with that?
Say that again?
So people buy one of these dog packs and like they load up their site with it and then they flip the site. You're okay with that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like, this is a really smart thing for everybody to consider doing. First of all, leveraging Brad for this is something y'all, like on these calls, y'all need to show up to these calls. It's really important that you do that. Because Brad is a genius. I mean, I've known Brad now. We've been working together since 2011. Was that like 9 years, right? Something like that. And we've hung. I mean, we not just work together. I went to Brad's wedding in Vegas. We've hung out together. We've vacationed together. So we're close friends. And I'm going to tell you all something right now. I've met a lot of entrepreneurs in my life. And I've never met someone like Brad who can understand how to leverage content better than anybody I've ever met. Like, he is a genius at like getting content leveraging it and making it work to drive traffic, right? And if you think about it, all Brad has done is focused on like the core fact of this whole contentor thing, right? Content equals traffic, right? So if we can get all your minds around that kind of mindset and just turn you all into content producing machines, because that's what he is. Like, I've never met anybody in my life who can produce content like Brad can. I seen Vector Tunes grow from its infancy. Like, I remember when it was, a domain name that he blew up into an idea. And in the last, 8 years, we started, I think in 2012 is when you started Vector Tunes. It's amazing in 6 years how much content he has produced. So my big point here is showing up to these calls and getting these kinds of ideas. If y'all could just like start to focus on getting this work done and forgetting about all this other crap that's out there and just really get in this mindset of how can I produce content like Brad? What would Brad do, right? Like he gave you like, okay, so we all know that the duplicate content thing is a myth, right? Brad has proved it. And if y'all we had a webinar last night, and dude, some of the people that are here now, Brad, may have not, they probably weren't on that webinar last night. So maybe you could show that slide that you found from Google about duplicate content. And therefore, my point is, if y'all can get in this mindset of just getting as much content as you possibly can onto your blogs, right, and jam it out, you can create some valuable assets that you can easily flip for some cash. And now you got a good little, and you come up with a system for pumping out content like Brad has created. I mean, y'all have like some of the elements of how this all works, creating spreadsheets and getting PLR content and getting images and getting videos and, curating that whole thing and bringing it together. Boom goes the dynamite. There's a blog called, I think it's called The Greatest. It is called Greatest. All they do is curate stupid stuff all day long. I think it's like 10 million visitors a month. And it's all duplicate curated content.
I think everybody who's on here already knows that duplicate content's a myth, or they wouldn't have bought the product. But we definitely found the quote from Google's mouth that said,
just to validate it,
Yeah, we validated it on the last webinar. But so Len's asking, we have date set with day first and then month. In the U.S., it's the other way around. How do you get around that? That's in Excel, Leonard. That's your Excel settings. So I think you can change your date settings either in Excel or in your computer control panel, and then it'll shift it out. But it doesn't matter because PHP that runs WordPress is smart enough to read dates in any order, any format. So it doesn't actually technically matter. How would it work with the quotes and the written content? Not sure I understand that question, Leonard, if you could rephrase. Brian says, Brad, do you have an SOP for your PI team for creating quote images, memes, etc.? I have an active PI team, and I was thinking about Anthony's idea. I want to niche some of my sites, and of course, I need more content. Any help on that? As far as creating the content goes, I mean, there's two ways about it that you can go about it. One of them is you can hire a team to do it. The other way is you can automate it. And I think that depending on how you're going to do it, that's there's two schools of thought there. But I think the easiest way is to just go to a outsourced graphic design company like Design Pickle is really good, where you pay them a monthly fee for unlimited projects, and you can just keep throwing projects into the queue. And those kinds of services are pretty good if you're going to do a lot of images, Brian. But ultimately, you've got to come up with stuff that's your own, that's unique, that's doesn't have to be unique, but if it is, it's going to be a little bit more shareable. It's going to be a little bit, better. So one of the places you can look for this kind of stuff, for ideas, are websites that sell T-shirts, right? So you can go to Teespring. We can type in dog here, and you're going to find all of these cool sayings and designs and T-shirts that talk about dogs, and different sayings and different pictures and different things. And you could just pay someone to go through here and make note of popular sayings about dogs and cartoons that were made and different things, and then figure out how to marry them with the graphics on a larger scale. I don't actually have an SOP. So to answer your question, no, I don't have an SOP because it's different every time I do it. And I have an SOP for how we create derivative content in vector tunes, but that doesn't apply to you, right? So it's a little bit different, and that's a different process. So short answer is no. Long answer is you've got to kind of find your method and build your own SOP around it. If that's something that you want a little bit more one-on-one help with, reach out to me and we can discuss maybe how I can consult with you and your team on that, or that kind of goes above and beyond the contents or product, but I'd be happy to look at that with you. Such as buying your pack and having the team do the layovers and submit. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's really just a question of what are your team's core skill sets? Are they graphics people, or are they more like, VA type people? And we could go through that. Richard's saying, what was the webinar? It was just another sales webinar that we did last night. It's basically the same webinar, just with we added the duplicate content question being answered by Google. Yeah, Greg, everybody who's asking about last night's webinar, you didn't miss anything. It was just the same webinar you bought through.
Yeah, if everyone wants the link, I'll just post it in here for everybody.
Brian says, by the way, boys, I have my first site up. Fantastic. Congratulations, dude.
Way to go, buddy.
High five. Then it says, if you have the quotes for niche, do see it put together on one page as an article with the quote as a heading. Why not? Yeah. Anytime you're gonna add more content to your website and ask me if that's okay, I'm gonna say yes. And there's really no wrong way of doing it. You can either add the quotes to the graphics, or you can add them, or you can add more text to the graphics, or you can just use the quote as a header, like you said, and then have an article below. Absolutely. Ryan's website address. I'm gonna pull it up, Ryan. Let me just make sure. He's got a great domain. Wait till you see this. It's quoteclimax.com.
I love it. That's awesome.
Well done, Brian. Well played. Look at this. Okay. This is looking good, dude. It's clean. It's simple. I bet you're going to flip this because I can see there's no ads on it, so I'm assuming you're going to flip it. Is that your plan? Yes, his plan is to flip it. Dude, this is great. This is fantastic. Now, when I look at this, I see the word post here as the title. So it looks like you didn't import the titles into this, dude. So you may want to revisit this. If I'm looking at this here, see how it says recent post, 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 post. Each one of these should be the title of the quote. So it looks like you actually imported this wrong, unless this was your plan all along. But the title tag is definitely going to, without having the quote title here, which was embedded in the spreadsheet, so you may want to rewatch the, he says just got it up late last night. Okay, he's onto it. He knows. Yeah, you want the title. So yeah, you're going to want to rewatch the soup to nuts and see how we imported it, and make sure you map the title field to the post title. That's key to this. So you may want to scrap this and start over with the database. But yeah, dude, the blog itself looks great. This is clean. I love clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing. No window dressing. Nothing crazy. So you've got the the quote authors, but not the title. See, I'll have to re-import that.
May I inspire everybody here really quick? Just 2-minute thing.
Please.
Here, let me just show this to everybody because this is pretty cool. Brad's gonna like this. Okay, so this is the site I was telling everybody about. It's called it's called greatest.com. All it is curated content, and it's not even any of their content. They link back to all the sources of their content. All kinds of weird stuff. It's like a hodgepodge of recipes, quotes, fitness, inspirational stories, workouts, all kinds of stuff, right? So then I pulled it up over here on SimilarWeb, and you can pretty much get an idea about the company. So this is what they're getting on a monthly basis, 4.5 million visitors. Now check this out. This is pretty cool. The referrals, right? Top referring sites is Flipboard, BuzzFeed. But look at top social site. Guess who the top social site is? Anybody have an idea?
Pinterest.
Bingo bango, baby. Look at that.
Look at that. Wow. Wow.
Look
Dude,
at that.
everybody is ignoring Pinterest. It's so funny how many people bought this product and sent it to me a message, and they were like, I'm more concerned about Twitter or Facebook than I am Pinterest. And it's like, Pinterest is the easiest traffic source I've ever seen. That's amazing.
Does that inspire everybody here? I just want to inspire everybody here. Does that inspire everybody here? And then we can move on to what we needed to do. Right? This is what y'all need to do with what you got going on. So, all right, let's see. Questions. Looks like we've inspired people. All right, good. That's what this is all about. It's getting y'all to start.
Great.
Yeah, this is about getting everybody excited to get going. Stay focused on this. Do not go down any other tangents. Like, I mean, how much do you think this website is worth? Greatest. All this traffic is free. They're getting all free traffic. And look, none of it's coming. How much of it's coming from Google? I don't even think a lot of it's coming from Google. I don't even know. It's a top referring sites. Google wasn't even a top referring site.
You said they're getting 10 million visitors a month?
I'm sorry, I was incorrect. 5. It was a while ago.
5 million visitors. 5 million visitors a month. So usually a website that has a decent brand like this, that is that's running viral content like a BuzzFeed type of a website. Depending on how well it's monetizing, usually sites like this are pulling about $10 to $15 CPM. So that's for every 1,000 visitors they get. So if you figure so you're looking at about, so if it's 5 million, we'll say, let's just be conservative and say it's $10 CPM that they're making. So $10 times 5,000 is 50,000. So they're probably pulling about 50K a month minimum revenue off of this website. So a website like this can usually sell for about 3 to 5 years annual revenue. So if it's doing 50K a month, what's that? 50K a month is 600 grand a year. So you could probably get, for a site like this, you could probably get 10X. Anywhere from $2 to $6 million.
Yeah, 10x. Now here's what's interesting, right? Like, you can even see where the people are going, how they're monetizing it. Look at Amazon. 7% of their people are leaving their site to go to Amazon. That's interesting, right?
They're probably linking to products on Amazon, or it's Amazon's retargeting that's bringing them in, because they're probably running AdSense type ads. Yep. And they're getting the retargeting.
A keto product. Look at how much people are going to the keto product.
There's also a strategy that a lot of sites use like this that not a lot of people are aware of. Maybe we should talk about the baking soda and the cocaine strategy. Does anybody want to know about the cocaine baking soda strategy? Let me know. Say answer with cocaine if you want to hear about this.
Cocaine, baby. Cocaine.
Okay. Burr, 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 burr.
Cocaine.
Okay, coke me up, Richard says. Okay, so can we switch back to my website to my thing for a second?
Apologies. Yep, you ready? Here we go. Bringing it back to Brad.
On my screen. Okay, so I'm going to do a little mind map with you folks here. New map here. Okay. So let me zoom in on this for a second. So let's just say we own quotespoon.com. Oh, we do. Okay. And from Quotespoon, we're getting traffic from Pinterest, and we're getting traffic from Facebook, and we're getting traffic from, Google. and we're getting traffic from Twitter, and we're getting traffic from people. We'll just put this down as a people, like, you know, sharing, email, etc. Okay. So let's say that just a little bit. Let's just go fit map. So, okay. Can you guys see this? Okay. Is that too far out? Let me zoom it back in a bit. Okay. So you have your website, and let's just say for the sake of conversation, this is your real traffic here. This is the cocaine. Okay. This is what a lot of websites do this, and not a lot of people know about it. But most of you know you can buy really cheap traffic, right? So over here, I'm going to move this one over here so we know it's separate. This is your baking soda over here, right? So here we're going to call this cheap traffic. So I can literally take a website like QuoteSpoon. Now, I'm not advocating this. I'm just telling you this is a strategy that some of these bigger websites use, including sites you've probably heard of, okay, like big names. Because I know guys that do traffic. They're traffic brokers, and they sell like so cheap traffic is like